Okay, let's get started. I've just imported the skeleton meshes for the items that I'm going to be using, and I've just set up the item like so. Inside of skeleton mesh, I've added skeleton mesh and then just set up everything as I want it to be in here. What we are going to do today is we're going to equip all of these items and finish off the series. So we are not, we haven't set the socket yet, so we're going to handle that as well in this episode. The very first thing that we want to do is we want to head over to our first person character. Inside our first person character, find our mesh like we did before and open up the skeleton. We currently got our helmet here. So we have that item. Did we finish making that item? No, we didn't. So the helmet is the EQ helmet. So let's head over and just handle that real fast. Inside items, we have EQ helmet. EQ helmet wants the helmet socket 1 that we created in the past. So we're going to put that in the socket name. After that, we got some shoulder plates that we want to work with. So where are we going to put that? I think we're honestly just going to put it on the head as well. So if we add a socket to the head, we're going to call this one shoulder socket 1. Inside of shoulder socket 1, add a preview asset. It's going to be the shoulder plates. Of course, this isn't looking in scale, so let's get it down. Okay, so that's going to be the shoulder socket 1. Open up our EQ shoulders. Change the socket name to that. And then we need our weapon, so head back into our mannequin. I'm going to put that on the arm somewhere. A hand, there should be a hand here. Hand R, right-handed. And we're going to add a axe to that. So we're going to add a one-handed axe. Need to fix the location of that. Copy the socket name. Find your EQ axe. Paste it in there. Now we need to handle right-clicking of our equipment slot. So let's head into our equipment slot. Inside of equipment slot, go to the graph. We're going to override a function. That function is going to be on mouse down, not preview mouse down, on mouse button down. Out from the geometry, no, out from the mouse event, sorry, we're going to do is mouse button down, left click and then right click, out with a branch. So if we are right clicking, or if we're not right clicking, we can just return with handled. Sorry, we're going in a bit of the right or wrong order here. I forgot. We are currently unequipping. So let's head over to our interface and our inventory slot. Inside your inventory slot, you want to override the function on mouse button down. So let's do that. You want to be able to right click to equip our item. So we're going to do it is mouse button down. If we're not doing that, we can just return with handle. So we finish that. Or if we are going into another branch, so we're going to get the item. Let's see if there is actually something in the slot that we are trying to right click on. If it's not, return with a handle. If it is true, it is a valid class, we need to branch out of, we need to get the defaults out of that and break open that defaults. We need a new variable in here. So that is what we're going to do now. We're going to head over to our item info structure. We're going to add a new variable. We're going to add a can be used boolean. Save that. Head over to your master item so we can compile it. Now we got a can be used. We're going to go out into branch. If it can be used though, we're going to use the item, so we need to get our HUD ref. Out from the HUD ref, get our inventory ref. Out from inventory ref, use item. We haven't set that up yet. Have we? No, we haven't. Go to our BP inventory. Inside of BP inventory, create a new function. We're going to call this one use item at index. It's going to have two inputs, an integer and a master item integer, index and item. Promote both of these to local variables. Out from this, we're going to get the category. So we need to get the local item, get the defaults, break that open. Out from the category, we need to switch on category. And here's where you would go out with your consumable. But we are going out with our equipment. So out of equipment, we want to also switch on the equipment category. Right? Because, okay, we got our equipment. We're trying to use an item at the index. It is a equipment. So if it's a weapon, what we're going to do is we're going to get our FPP ref. We're going to get the HUD ref. We're going to get the equipment window. Inside of equipment window, we're going to get the weapon slot. Out of the weapon slot, we're going to get the item. And we want to check if we already have a item equipped. Valid class. Out with the branch. Let's do the false first. So out from false, we're going to get our inventory. So we need to get our inventory contents. We need to get our FPP ref. We need to get HUD ref, get inventory ref, get slots contents. Out from the contents, we're going to set the array element. The array element that we want to set. So we don't have a weapon already equipped. So we want to set our index that we are plugging in. Size to fit, expand that, and we want to set that to false. So quantity 0 and item 0. After that, what we are going to do is we're going to get our FPP ref in our first person character where we have the first person camera and we have our first person mesh. We're going to add a new skeleton mesh. The skeleton mesh will have a default socket and we're going to put it on hand R for now. And that's about it for here. We can rename this to weapon mesh. You can duplicate these to get shoulders mesh and duplicate that to get helmet mesh. Keep my trinkets, we're not going to have them visible. If you are going to have them visible, you would change it in here probably. Back into your inventory slot, into your BP inventory, sorry. After we have checked that we don't have anything, so we're setting the slot contents, we are actually equipping it here. After that, we're going to plug in that false actually. Get our FPP ref, we're going to get our weapon mesh. It's going to be at the bottom. And we want to set skeletal mesh. Just move that down there. Get the local item. Get the defaults. Break that open. Inside our equipment info, we got our skeleton mesh, so add that there. So if you had separate sockets, different socket names, you would attach the component to the component after that, I believe. The parent is the FPP. No, the parent is the first person mesh. So get the first person mesh somewhere around here. There we go. Socket comes from our socket name, which can't be a text. So we need it to be a name. Set over into our item info, and we need it to be in the equipment info. So head over to your equipment info. Where do we put that? There, we put that there. It's going to be a type name. Save that. Save the item info. Open up your master item, compile and save that. In your PP inventory now, your socket should have changed names, like so. If you do it like this, you're going to snap that to target. After this, we are going to get our equipment window. And we're going to set item, get weapon slot. Set item. And the item that we're going to set it to is the one from our local item that we are equipping. That is if we don't have. So I'm only going to do this for one item. You can do, follow along for the other items as you please. And you can also collapse these down to functions, right? Equip weapon. Equip weapon needs to have the local variables though, so we need the input of local index type integer and item local item that we made before. Compile and save that. Do we have something equipped? Do we have something equipped? If not, equip it and set the slot to false. If we do, we are going to get our item info like so. We're going to get the weapon mesh, which is over there. We're going to set the skeletal mesh. What are we going to set it to? We're going to set it to the mesh that's incoming. After that, we're going to get our array. Set the array. This time not to blank though. This time the index is going to be local index. The quantity is going to be 1. The item is going to be the item from our weapon slot, like that. And then get item. Plug item in. After we have plugged the item in, we can set item. So set item to the local item that we are inside your equipment slot, inside your graph, we're going to add a new custom event. It's going to be called update. We're not going to call it quite, yeah, we're going to call it in your BP inventory. So inside your BP inventory, you're going to get the weapon slot. Out from the weapon slot, you're going to call update. You're going to call update after both of these. So at the end of both of these, you're going to update the equipment slot. In our case, this case is the weapon slot. And then what we want to do is we want to get our FPP, get our HUD, get our inventory, and reinitialize our inventory as well, because we have fucked around with that. After we have initialized our inventory, we are going to get our equipment window over here. We're going to drag out from it. We're going to call our update stats function. After all of this is done, we can return. That is how you would equip your weapon. Let's click play and actually test this. Have I added the weapon into the world? No. So add the axe, one of those. I click play, get myself an axe. I right click, nothing actually happens. And of course nothing actually happens because we haven't actually implemented it in here. We made the function, now we gotta call it. So use item at index. The item that we are gonna use is our item. The index that we're going to use it at is our index, and after you have used it, you can return with a handled. We haven't set that it can be used, so we also have to do that. So head over into your items, into your equipment, into items, and into your axe. We made the can be used boolean, so now we gotta set that up. I completely forgot that we had to plug them in here as well. After we do that, compile and save, hit play. It might not work again, but it did. So that's awesome. Our axe is equipped. Is it equipped correctly? Honestly, I don't know. I think it is. Yeah, it should be. Our equipment slot is not updating. Inside our equipment slot, we are going to get our item. We're going to get if it's a valid class. If it's not a valid class, what we're going to do is we're going to get our icon. We're going to set brush from texture, and the texture that we're going to set it to is the default icon. However, if it is valid, we're going to set brush from texture. The texture comes from our item, the defaults, break that open, and the icon is our icon over there. After this is going to be a bit tedious. We're going to get our HUD ref. We're going to get inventory. We're going to get FPP. Now we're going to get all our stats. So we need to get attack power. Once you've gotten all of these, what we're going to do is we're going to get out from the FPP ref once again. We're going to set attack power. Set magic power. What are we going to set it to? We're going to set it to attack power. Our attack power is going to be attack power plus, so our current attack power plus if I do the stat struct and break that open here. So our attack power plus the attack power from our weapon. The magic power is going to be magic power plus, and our intellect like that. I'm not going to bother lining any of these off. So we're going to plug all of these in, and that is our update function, our update event, sorry. We also need another one up here. We're going to call this one remove stats. So we're going to get our defaults out from our FPP ref again, set attack power. Basically just going to reverse everything. Plug these into together. We're going to set it to our attack power minus, so it's basically just reversed as I said before. my attack power minus the attack power, my magic power minus, and so on. Running a bit late, so I'm not going to bother cleaning any of this up. We're not calling remote anything yet, so we got our equipment window. We need to get that. Where's our HUD ref at? There we go. Get the equipment window and call our update stats function over there. How we set that up? Yes, compile and save, hit plate, test for a quick second. If I equip it, we gain our stats. I can't actually unequip it though, so let's handle that. Inside our equipment slot, on mouse button down that we started setting up before, we're going to get our HUD ref, we're going to get our inventory ref, we're going to find empty slot, add from the branch, add from the success, make a branch, sorry, get our item. We want to get the defaults and then break that open. Is it in our equipment info? No, it's in a category, so we want to switch on the category. And then we want to get our equipment, so we want to switch on the equipment as well. So it's in equipment, and then we want to switch on the equipment. If it's a weapon, which is the one that we have here, we are going to simply get our inventory ref. We're going to get our FPP ref. We're going to get the weapon mesh, like so. We're going to set the skeleton mesh to be blank. We're going to get our inventory. We're going to add item, add index, which we haven't set up yet. New BP inventory, make a new function, called add item at index. It's going to have two inputs, the index and the item, master item. We're going to get our HUD FPP ref, get our inventory, get our HUD ref, get our inventory ref, and get our get contents. I'm going to set array element. I'm going to set it to the incoming index, one quantity, and the item size to fit. Return on that. Compile and save. Head back into your equipment slot. Over here in our inventory index, we can call our add item at index function. The item comes from our item. The index comes from our find empty slot index. After that, we want to equipment slot. We want to remove stats. It's going to have a input of master item. Compile and save that. Head back into your on mouse button down. The remove stats item is going to be our item. After that, we're going to set our item to blank. We are going to get our HUD ref. I'm going to get WBP inventory. I'm going to reinitialize it. We're going to get our HUD ref. We're going to get our inventory ref. We're going to get FPP ref. And we're going to update stats, which we haven't set up yet. We actually don't need that. We actually don't need that yet. So compile and save that. Return with a handled. If we now click play, we go and pick up our axe. We can equip it. We got our shit. We can right click and we remove our stats. However, we don't update this. We don't update this yet. And what we have to do after we initialize is simply get our. We don't have to get anything. We can just update from here because we need to update our slot. Right? So we can equip our axe and we can remove it again, as you see. So that's how you would equip your item. You can just redo all of this that we did in this tutorial for other slots as well. So for your chest piece and head piece and any other piece you want, you would just set the socket name accordingly and adjust like that. So for the head, you would set the head socket, you would adjust it and add the equip under here, under your equipment slot. So when you right click it, it will set the shoulder mesh that you set. Right. So that's it for this. I don't think we will do much more for the equipment system. If you have any input, if you want me to add the other items as well, I can do that. Let me know in the description below. If you have any other requests for this system, the inventory system, or anything, let me know and I will do my best to make a video about that or answer you in the comments if it's a simple one. Anyway, thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.